Oh no, the Rancor! Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Thought I'd show off my classic Kenner Rancor monster here in his cave under Jabba's palace. This was actually a video I was planning on doing anyway, and then Hasbro actually pushed the story forward for me because they've got a thing called Haslab, and they do things like very big, expensive projects. The Razor's Crest from the Mandalorian show, etc., Jabba's sail barge, and recently there was a little bit of discussion about the fact that they're going to do Rancor, and it just made me think, oh, hey, perfect timing. I have the original classic Rancor, so let's show it off and discuss. Now, the one from this Haslab project is huge, like 17 inches tall or something. Twice the size of this thing. I know this looks big in the pictures here. I'll pull it out a little bit better in a second, but the one in Haslab is going to be like 17 inches tall and cost about $350. And a lot of the backers are kind of like, no, that's a lot of money for a very big monster that has very little appeal for us. We're not going for it, etc. So I'm just kind of glad that I've got my original Rancor here, and I can just enjoy him and not be caught up in the controversy that the Haslab unit has. Okay, so let's pull back just a hair so you can see this thing a little bit better. He's only 9 inches tall. Let me just get Luke for scale purposes. He's big. You know, he's not a tiny little fella, but compared to what he looks like in the film, now this is actually very close to what the original artwork looks like. Then again, you can't tell from perspective. Now, in the artwork, when the Rancor is there and Luke is kind of in the foreground, we're not really too sure what the distance is. As I'm holding these two figures together, that Rancor could easily just reach out his arm and grab Luke. So, it could be argued, sure, this looks kind of like what the artwork shows, but not entirely. However, before I proceed with anything more about the Rancor, it is time for the traditional shot of whiskey. This is something people who've watched my channel know for a bit. I have a Stormtrooper whiskey bottle here with some Talisker in it, and I always pour out a shot of whiskey to have while I'm talking Star Wars, because COPPA made it very difficult for anybody talking about toys not to be flagged as kid-friendly, and therefore you can't have comments and a bunch of other issues. So I always have a shot of whiskey to go with my Star Wars discussion so that there's no confusion. This is not necessarily a kid's video, so as I always say, we would be honored if you would join us. Delish. Okay, so let's get Luke out of there. The Rancor itself is very limited. He doesn't have much articulation. He can't move his head, can't move his tail. His legs do move up and down. Let's see if I can pull around to the other one here. Yeah, they move up and down. They got a bit of range, but as you can see from the arrangement of his feet, he's kind of like, he's flat-footed in one sort of pose. Like, he'll stand great like that, but he won't stand great like that. So you're kind of limited with what you can do with this guy. The arms do move up and down, and what's also very cool is the claws rotate. So in theory, the poor little Gamorrean guard can be grabbed by his arm. I'm going to do it in a second. Side question, do you call him the Gamorrean guard or Gamorrean guard? I've heard both, and that's that old adage of, like, you see a word written down that's space age or fantasy for years, you don't really know how it's pronounced, you come up with a certain way of saying it in your head, then somebody corrects you, and it never sounds right. That's where I am with this. I've always called him the Gamorrean guard, but a lot of people call him the Gamorrean guard. Anyway, can I put him in the arm? Well, the answer seems to be no, at least for this hand. You know, he sort of wants to rest inside there, but not terribly well. And then, of course, right into the choppers. Now, there's a thing about that in a second I'm going to do, but can I just get him to hold? No. Okay, so that arm's no good. if I reach forward then, can I put him in that arm there? Not... I mean, yeah, maybe it'll work, kind of. But he's never going to be, like, hoisted into the mouth. That mouth just ain't going to chew on the Gamorrean guard. I mean, well, he can actually... that's turned out rather well. But there's no way he's going down fully like he does in the film. Now, let me just show you those choppers of his. He actually has on his back... Can I show you this? Yes, you can make out... There's a little lever right here. There we go. Just a little slider. What that does is it actually makes his mouth open and close. So, I don't know. Can we get the Gamorrean guard's head in there if we open that up? Let's try this out. Bear with me. There's a little bit of engineering involved. So, open up. Can he get the Gamorrean guard? I mean, yeah, like before, the head goes in just fine, but that's about it. Patooey! Well, he's coming for Luke next, and we all know how that's going to play out. However, I wanted to just do a funny little thing that is actually related to the Rancor coming after Luke. You know, in the film, Luke runs around, he goes to the other side of the cage, and he tries to escape, and he can't, so he runs along, and he grabs the bone and shoves it inside the Rancor's mouth. A little thing that my sister used to do, which I think she might appreciate this, is anytime we went to McDonald's, she would actually pretend that she was reenacting that scene by getting a chip in her mouth. And I actually got myself some McDonald's fries right here to kind of tip the hat at my sister in her moment. One thing I've noticed, these fries have gone very limp and loose in the intervening years. So... although I gave it a shot, it was a little bit soft and wobbly. I wasn't quite able to reenact the scene from the Rancor himself very well. However, I've got a neat little idea for that now. Get another little shot of the whiskey here after those fries. Set that to the side. So although these fries are too wobbly, I'm actually going to see what happens if I put some hickory sticks into the mouth of the Rancor, because these are like potato chip bits that are in the shape of the McDonald's fries. There we go. Way harder, way crispier. Let's open them up and see if we can reenact that bit for my sister. It's so close. Oh, there you go. And crack. Oh, it did it. Actually, it did break in half. I don't know if you saw there, but they are in two little pieces here now, so that's good. Okay, so there. My sister's scene is reenacted with the Rancor. Okay, well, to wrap it up, Luke's gonna run away from the Rancor toward the front of the cave. Rancor's coming after him. Luke grabs the skull, manages to hit the actuator that brings the cage door slamming down on the Rancor and kills him. Much to the sadness of the Rancor keeper, who sees his beloved pet has been killed, and he's very, very sad. And unfortunately, that's the end for him. He looks for solace from his good buddy Klaatu, and off they go, sadly worrying about what's going to happen for the next Rancor keeper. Or something like that. Anyway, yes, that is my Rancor from Kenner, the original from back in the day. Just wanted to do a little video since Hasbro have talked about theirs and we're thinking of releasing one for $350. I think this thing was $30 way back when. So, all right, well, there we go. Cheers to the demise of the Rancor, and until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.